Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're making gluten-free bread. So I was at the supermarket and I wanted gluten-free bread flour because I want to make bread so that I can make bread crumbs so that I can fry mozzarella. Yeah, I know that's annoying. Anyway, the supermarket did not have gluten-free bread flour. They had Measure for Measure, which I've used on this show before. Measure for Measure very specifically says not recommended for yeasted recipes. Dun dun dun! This recipe is from No Gluten Gal, and it says that it's not for sandwiches, it's for toast and stuff like that. We'll see what it's all about. Okay, let's go. So, step 1, we need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Throw it in the bowl. You could also use honey. Step 2, you need 1 cup of water at about 110 degrees. That's about at 110 degrees, so we're going to do that. Give it a little mix. Then I'm going to throw in my packet of yeast. Give that a little whisk around. And we're going to let that activate. You'll know it's you'll know it's activated because it'll be frothy. While we're waiting for that, we're going to do 1/4 cup of our gluten-free flour. Then 2 more cups of our gluten-free flour. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Then we're going to clap to get some of this crap out of the way. Then we're going to whisk this together. Then in yet another bowl, because whoever wrote this recipe obviously loves doing dishes, we're going to combine 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, wash our hands, then add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Then we're going to whisk that together. Now we're adding the wet ingredients to the yeast ingredient. I should have saved that whisk, huh? Blend it well. Now originally, I was going to use the electric mixer for this, but little bit at a time. Then just go all in, mix it around. Now, this isn't going to need a lot of kneading because apparently you don't need gluten-free doughs a lot. Should be sticky. I'm never sure if I'm doing this stuff right. It's going to be wet. You're going to be like, hey, is it supposed to be this wet? Yes, it is. That's just how gluten-free dough is. At this point, we're realizing that I should have greased the pan before I stuck my hand in the dough. But, you know, whatever. Grease your pan before you do that, folks. Don't be like me. That was dumb. And this is a 9 by 5 inch bread pan. Okay. So now we're going to spread our dough into this. If you use the gloves, you can use your spatula to get the batter off the gloves. And then we'll do it like we should have done it the first time. Recommend a spatula for this. It says spoon or hands, but really, don't do that. Don't use your hands unless you have a very dedicated assistant. Jerkins isn't allowed in the kitchen after what happened last time. You know what you did, Jerkins. And then it says to smooth the top with a wet hand. I'm just gonna wet the spatula. See how that worked just fine? Now we're gonna cover it with our Terry Pratchett dish towel and let it rise for about an hour and a half. I'm also gonna set the oven for 375. Let it preheat. Rising in a warm room will speed the process up too. An hour has passed, and we're ready to stick it in our 375 degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. It does look like I could have pulled it at an hour instead of an hour and a half, because it looks about the same size as it did when I checked on it then. About 40 minutes later, and we're ready to pull it out. Looks like bread. We're gonna go ahead and flip it onto our drying rack. That came out quicker than I thought it would. And there we have it. Gluten-free bread with jam. This little button is brought to you by my new lav mic. Hopefully it works. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell, maybe leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.